right, we are back, and I am joined now by Nick, who is 50% of the concept behind the concept, if that makes any sense. I'm a little blown away because off camera, we've been walking around off camera for a good 45 minutes now about that, and great explanation. So here we have Nick. You are from Germany, and you are here first time in Thailand?
Yes, this is my first time actually, yeah. I'm here like for 2 weeks now, experiencing a lot of cultural differences, but I love it. It's cool. I like it. Yes.
All right. We're gonna talk about you are an artist, and you come from Germany. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and what you have done.
Well, I'm a contemporary artist working with different styles like photography, installation, and video works. And I like to work together with like other parts of art. For example, like this is like cooking is not part of a traditional contemporary art concept, right? So as I'm not really like a good chef, I have to look for some professionals to help me out. This is how I get connected to Daniel, whom I'm working with right now here back in Germany, because he's from Germany and we both knew each other from Hamburg.
So tell us a little bit about the concept, about the fairy tale, about the projections, about it's changing color again there in the background, I can see. Enlighten us.
All right. Well, we had like a theme we agreed upon beforehand, and we thought it would be cool to have like one word to combine the two parts, cooking and art. That was like underwater, or water was like the trigger for us. So I thought, what can I do to bring this thing? What can I bring to Thai people and to people who come to this restaurant, which is not too decorative and just hang something up the wall against the wall and that's it. So I thought it could be also like more than something active, like a interactive piece or something. So I came up with these water jars, which are called ong in Thai. I might not pronounce that right, but yeah, something like that. It's 5 of them, 5 water jars, you see, which are filled up with a light. There's light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, and they are decorated, or they are painted with scenes from the fairy tale, a German fairy tale which is called The Fisherman and His Wife, which is one of the most famous fairy tales from the Grimm brothers, which are responsible for stories like Snow White or Hansel and Gretel, So
I love that fairy tale. Fairy tale, by the way.
Yeah, everybody knows some. It's funny that even here in Thailand, some people really.
Cinderella.
Yeah, that's like the famous. But I actually think they know the Disney version of Cinderella more than the original version. But
I know I do.
So I brought the fairy tale as something very German, like very famous and symbolic, and combined it with something very Thai, which is these water jars are used to collect drinking water for centuries. So right now it's easier. You go to the tap, you get the water to the 7-Eleven and get your water. But if you live at the countryside or something, you can use them to collect water for the plants, and that's what they actually still do. They still use them actually, but not right in Bangkok. You just find them all over the place, like painted ceramics in different styles and sizes and shapes. So they are everywhere. So I thought, yeah, everybody knows it. That's a very, very rural element to use. And this is why they look so raw, right? It's clay pots. That's what it is. And then this is where we come to the story, because the fisherman and his wife starts out with the 2 people, like him and his wife, sitting at their clay pot. This is like their first house they live in, and then I have to give you a little intro to the story. It's about him fishing a magic fish, which is a prince, and he sets him free again after the prince asks him not to catch and eat him. And he kind of like thinks, yeah, I wouldn't have done it anyway. You're talking fish. Why should I eat you? Like, very humble man. Goes back to his wife, and she goes, after she knew that he did this, she said, why didn't you wish for something? You could have wished for something. Come on, let's go back, or you go back and ask him to grant your wish. So he does, and she wishes for a little house, like a cottage, and a little farm in the back. in the backyard. So he goes to the sea, and the sea's calm and blue, and this very romantic setting. The fish comes up and grants the wish. So he gets back to the house. The fisher goes back to his house, and she's sitting in front of this cottage all of a sudden. So he thinks, okay, now everything's cool. She's happy. I'm happy. Great. Then, like a few days later, she goes like, you know what? It's kind of like I really want a stone house. Would it be good? Could you go down to the sea and ask the fish? So the man goes like, yeah, if you really would want to, because I don't really want to like ask him again. He already granted a wish. When he obviously goes back. This is like the thing of the story. He always goes back. He does what his wife tells him. He's getting more and more uncomfortable with the situation, because she's always wishing for bigger things. She wants a palace. She wants to become king. She wants to become emperor all of a sudden. In the end, she wants to become pope, and he's like really feeling each time the fisherman feels more under pressure, and each time he goes to the sea, actually the sea changes. The color change, the waves are getting very dangerous. The sky gets dark, and it's bubbly and foul. It stings. You see, it's like very, very dramatic scenery every time he's at the sea, which is getting important for the rest of the exhibition, actually. And in the end, this is like the punchline. In the end, he goes to the fish because his wife wants to become God. After asking the fish to grant that wish with a very bad conscience, he just says, well, go back to the house. She's sitting in front of the clay pot again. And then they are still sitting there as a couple, like they started out. That's like the morale is like, I think everybody gets the morale. I don't have to explain that.
Yeah, it sounds to me like greed and a little bit what we all do. We get something and we want more and more and more and more and more. Anyway, we're gonna go for a short break. When we come back, much more of this super cool event. We're gonna meet up with Daniel, and we're gonna talk food. All that when My Second Home with Daniel returns. Don't go away.
Bring the action.
All right, we are standing here with Daniel, who is the chef de cuisine right here at Reflections at the Plaza Athénée on Wireless Road in Bangkok City. You all also happen to be the other 50% of the concept of this underwater concept. We just had a long interview with Nick, very interesting, and now he's brought me like 50% down in to this concept. And makes sense to me. Show me the rest of the concept. So you represent the food, is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. This is actually my restaurant. I work here full time,
I invited Nick, and we just were looking for a topic that works for both of us, that kind of like gives us enough to play with. And underwater is like a big field for food in general. I was scared that people would think of a captain's dinner. That was like my biggest fear, that it sounds like
Fish fingers.
yeah, fish fingers and seafood, like, I don't know, yabbies all you can eat. It isn't that at all, but water is like so essential to cooking in general, to all kinds of preparation of food. Well, after all, everything is mainly water.
Based out of water, yeah.
But also in terms of cooking methods, and in terms of what does it do, like if you boil something or steam it, or like where does water come in? And then of course also like what are the interesting products in the water that you don't necessarily think of when you think of water. Obviously everybody has like a fish association or something like that, but actually I don't even use any fish in the whole menu.
I think I kind of get it. So wait. So what we're saying, because I love cooking myself. I visit a lot of kitchens, and there's one basic thing that I always try to tell on my show, or all my friends that want to learn about cooking. It's the water. It's that you walk into a kitchen, a boiling pot of water, and then spread that into different dishes, whatever concept that might be. Is that a little bit how you guys associate the two parts, the parts from the fairy tale of the wishes to the water in the kitchen to the different dishes?
Yeah. There's definitely like a strong connection.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, and there's this total fascination of water. And in the story, you have this fish in the water, like kind of hidden somewhere in the deep. You don't know where it goes to. The fisherman has to kind of summon the fish, and the fish comes up, and it's like that with dishes as well, right? Like you don't really know where the flavors go. You kind of have to, what to do to bring things up, but it's the same kind of mystery that you have in fairy tales, you often have in cooking as well. It's very scientific, and I like to use a lot of modern techniques where you feel like you control it, but in the end what it tastes like is still a mystery, and so much stuff is not researched about it. And after all, dining is very emotional as well, and so there's so many factors that are more difficult to control, and this is kind of like the whole, I don't know, overhead of the story that I was trying to capture with this menu.
So would you say that I don't know if I should call it surprise factor, is that important at all for the guest coming in to dine here?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would call it surprise, but I think I think it's exactly like I think you mean the right thing. I'm just not sure if surprise is the right word. Like there's a lot of tableside preparations. We do a lot of things where we try to interact with the guest. There's a lot of things that happen at the table where I kind of make visible how do I make things, and how do dishes come to be what they are. And this is, I don't know if surprise is the right word, but like it's definitely, you get a different feeling of what you're eating. Like you get a different understanding of the dish, and it kind of challenges you to think about it more than just eat it.
Well, awesome. I can't wait. So, well, that's a huge dinner, but it sounds very, very interesting. The whole concept with the art, the futuristic views of the dishes. So we're gonna go for a break. We're gonna let Daniel go back to the kitchen, getting prepared for tonight, and we're gonna do what we do best: to sit down, eat, drink, and enjoy. We're gonna go for a short break. Daniel, you're watching My Second Home. Don't go away.